Okay, clap your hands once if you can hear my voice. Awesome, awesome. How do we do on this? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, a little mixed. Let's talk about it. Okay, so one of the big mistakes that people make, and I'm sure you will probably make this at some point, so just be ready to debug this, is you'll go like this, user slash get, and we want to do an ID route, right? So we're going to say slash user slash ID, and we'll say request response, and we'll have a res.json, and we'll say info for user request.params.id. Right? What's wrong with this, Henry?
You already have users being called twice.
Right. I already have users if I'm in this users file. Right? This is a really common bug. I can't even tell you how many times somebody came up to me last year and asked about why it's not working. And this is what happens. They would go to their app. Let's go ahead and get rid of this one. Right? In real life, you should be deleting those. I'm just leaving them for your lecture notes. Okay. And we would say slash ID. So let's say 13 or whatever number represents me. And it would say, I cannot get users 13. How do I access the route that this pretends to have made? Deja? Now I know how to fix it, right? I definitely should get rid of that users. But how would I access it, Giovanni?
Go back to post and go to users and then users again.
Right, it would be users slash users, well, whatever that says, slash 13, and then it would be working, right? But that's obviously a silly looking route, right? Why would we do that? So we're not going to, and instead we're just going to get rid of the users. Now it should work appropriately. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this for the other routes. Probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to take the shortcut route, and I'm going to copy this. Copy, comment it out, and now I have to adjust everything in my users. And so, let's see if I can do, I'll get rid of everywhere that says users. Whoops. Okay, this one should be slash. And then where it says app, I'll have to say users. Okay, I think we're Gucci. Let's just try real quick. We'll just do a delete for the user 13 and deleted user 13. So we're good. Right, so we've drastically shortened our app.js. I mean, you can't tell too well there, but we have, right? Let's go ahead and do it again for posts. So inside a post, without looking, what's the first thing I need to do? Yeah, Shia.
Slash. Oh, no, sorry. You gotta require express.
Okay. Const express require express. Okay, who wants to tell me the next step? Henry?
You have to go const post and then
Yep.
and then you have to take res and dot. So
Capital R, yeah? Okay. Oh, it did it for me. Nice. All right. What's the next thing I should do? Deja? Perfect. Right? Don't forget this. Right? Post. Great. Right? If you forget this and run it, it won't work. And then we'll say, did you export it? All right, and let's go ahead and add those post routes. I'm just going to shorten this again. So I think we get it. If not, we can walk through it again. Not your help, but just for brevity's purposes. Let's go ahead and change posts. All right, well, whatever. I'll just do one at a time. Slash. And our app there should change to posts. Right, sometimes you'll see people just call that router instead of like posts or users. That's okay too, right? It's not opinionated. I hate when my landlord texts me. That's what just happened, but it's all good. Okay. Okay, so now we've got our post. So now there's kind of a funny route that we haven't talked about yet, which is this last one here. Anyone figure this one out? Yeah, I know. Danny figured it out?
Yeah, it works when you just put it in the user's file.
Okay. I agree, right? So we could put this in a user's file, and it would say, it would be /ID /posts. Anybody see something that might not be so cool with that? Why might not that be super cool? Yeah, Fowler.
Because in reality, all of your posts are on the post route, so really you want user ID to hit the post route, not a post route inside.
Okay. So he says I'm hitting a post route inside of my user instead of it being inside of my post page. Henry?
Take a shot at this. So in the users, you put user.get, right?
Okay.
After post / ID, and then put comma, and then put post, new string, and then comma.
Interesting. Yeah, that potentially could work. Right, so there might be a couple ways around this. I'm going to show you one way that I think is the most, well, not necessarily the most intuitive, but I think it's a better practice. And the reason I think that is because pretty much of what Fowler said, it's just that my user routes all have to do with like user objects I'm getting back. I'm either deleting a user, I'm updating a user, I'm getting a user, I'm getting all the users. And same with my posts, I'm getting all these posts. So it's weird to me to organize my file structure so that when I have to go get posts for a user, I'm getting back posts, but I'm in a user route. That feels counterintuitive. Like if you looked at my application and I said, hey, can you update all the posts that a user gets back, you might not know where to look. Right? This is something that Rails solves for us really nicely. It's just built in that that is the way it's going to work. Express is not perfectly built in like that. So what I'm proposing is, let me close this so I can see my notes better. So, okay. What I'm proposing is we make another folder and another file. So inside of my user routes, it's still going to be like a user route, but instead I'm going to create another folder, and I'm going to call this posts. So I'm going to have another post folder. To me, this makes more sense. If it doesn't to you, right, you're allowed to organize it differently. Of course. But this is the way I want to organize it. Inside of my post, I'm going to make another post.js file. Maybe I'll call it user posts. So you can see in my file structure that this is a nested route, right? We can just see that posts is nested inside of users. So to me, it looks like if I was looking through this, I would immediately go, if I'm in the user routes and now I have a folder that says posts, then these are routes that start with users but give back posts. That's how I like to think about it. Okay, so inside of our user posts, I don't think too much needs to change. We can still require express. I'll say const express, and I'm going to say require express. And yeah, and remember, now you have to be a little bit cognizant to make sure you're in the right post folder and all that. And then I'm going to start a new router, so I'm going to say const user posts. So that to me seems like a good name. I'll say express, invoke my router, and I'm going to pass in a optional argument into my router, and this argument is called merge params. This means from here I still want to be able to see the ID of the user, because this is going to be like /ID/posts. We're going to go into this, but I still want to be able to see that ID, even though it's just going to be a slash route here. You'll see in a second. So I'm going to say merge params, and I'm going to say true. Okay, so I'm only doing this in the nested route. Do not have to do that in the non-nested routes. From here, I'm going to run this the same as I've been doing. Let me go ahead and just take the thing from here. Comment that out. Go to our user posts. I should be exporting already, but I didn't. So let's go ahead and export. Module.exports, and we'll say user posts. Right, so we've built a new router in here. And instead of this saying /users ID, what should this say? So I'm going to have this just say /.
So you're not changing anything
Not yet. Just commented out that route. So now I've got a slash here, and I'm going to say all posts for a user, and let's give this, let's say what user. So I'm going to say request.params. Maybe I should call it ID, user ID, right? Depends on what I'm doing. I'll call it ID for now.
Will you need to create in the app.js another, require another route?
Not yet. The question is, am I going to be altering the app.js when I'm saying no? Where do I want to add that stuff? We've been adding in the app.js. Where might it make sense?
in
Yeah.
the users.
In the users, right? Let's go back to our users. And in our users, let's go ahead and require it. So I'm going to say const user posts, and I'm going to say require dot slash, what's my route? Posts slash user posts .js. Right, this is where it's slightly more complicated than what we've seen. That's why I saved it for dessert. The last. Something's crashing. Not sure what that is. Yeah, let's see.
Put the users post in
After
the post or the users?
No, in the users.
So
Because this is a nested route inside of users.
So why do you,
you have to put posts, then
Because
user
users.
posts. You have to put users and then user posts.
I'm already in a user's file.
User post, did you put user post idea or was it user idea? On user post.js.
Userpost.js.
It's app, isn't it user post idea?
Yeah, this is user posts. Right, that's a mistake. Thank you. Good catch. It wasn't clear until Rafid said it. He told me the file name to go to. It was just one short of listing the line.
Rather we had the same problem.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you for everyone else who attempted to tell me that. Sorry I didn't understand. Sorry, not sorry. I don't know. Like, I guess I'm sorry, but I don't feel bad about it. I won't think about it. Like, sorry for wasting 10 seconds. But also, whatever. Okay. So we've got our user post.get slash, right? So this is going to be all of our users posts. So inside of our users, let's go ahead and we've required that. What do I need to add now? Yeah, well, instead of app, it's going to be users.use. So I'm going to say anything in this route, I want to use it if it's /id/posts. And if we go there, I want to hit our user posts. Yeah, Marvin. Oh, okay. Jesus. What? Yeah, it's a lot. Don't worry. You're going to have lots of practice. Lots of time to practice. Mucho tiempo para practicar. Hey now. Okay. Any questions on that? Let's test. If not, let's test it. So we'll go to our route. We'll check still user/ID should still give us back deleted user. Oh, I'm doing that. Delete. Let's make a GET request. We'll say info for user ID 13, and now let's go get their posts. And I get all posts for specific user 13. Cool. This is a very traditional RESTful API type of styling. So if something is nested, right, you want to slowly keep shrinking and then go. So if I was trying to get all my reviews, right, for a business, that would be businesses, right, /ID for the specific business, /reviews. All of the reviews for that business. If I didn't do that merge params true, I would not have access to this ID inside of our user posts. And this is, once again, the file structure. So we have our users and posts. Inside of my users route, I also have nested post routes. To me, that makes it more clear that I am returning a post, even though the route starts with user, instead of jamming it into our user routing. Yeah, Doug.
So you still have access to that user ID because
Because of this merge params, true.
okay, so then you don't need to pass it in on the users, right?
You mean, yeah, so, not sure if I completely understand. So when we hit our users, right, there'll be some ID here, and then we're saying we want the posts of that ID. Because we have that merge params true, that route will automatically have access to this ID here. I could change that to user ID, and then in the other one, it would be user ID. Merge params is essentially saying, I can see what my parents' route was. Yeah, good question. Any other questions? Más preguntas. I don't know why I'm doing English and Spanish right now. I haven't studied Spanish for a while, but I was like, I think it's because of the cold. My mind is like, feels different. Okay. Anything? Do we feel ready to do the lab? Then ask some questions. Right? That's the ultimate delay. All right, so we'll try it. We'll try the lab and we'll ask questions as we're doing the lab, I guess. Okay? So we can post pairs. John Jenya, please. Thank you. And